5 to 7 minutes, and when we come back, we'll go ahead and bring in our man, the original backyard gamer. So shout out our original backyard gaming. Hey, what's up to you, brother? Well, all right, guys, let's get right back into it.
A brand new CNN poll finds that the president's approval on the economy has fallen to an all-time career low for him of 31%. It has never been lower for President Trump. This only begins to tell the story, though, of the president's problems on the economy. With us now, CNN chief data analyst Harry Etten. As I said, this is just scratches the surface because there are some other numbers here that are really staggering.
This is no April Fool's joke. This is a disaster. All these numbers are a disaster for President Trump. I mean, let's just talk about inflation, which is the name of the game. Okay, highest disapprovals on inflation about this time in a presidency. Whenever you have Joe Biden and Jimmy Carter on the board and you're matching them or slightly exceeding them when it comes to inflation, you know it's bad. Look at this, 72% in our latest CNN poll say they disapprove.
I mean, here's the thing. Inflation has went down, but let's be real. It doesn't mean that inflation disappeared. All inflation going down is like I said, it means that prices stop going up quickly or quicker. So like, the problem is that, one, he should have been focusing more on inflation instead of focusing and getting into a war with Iran. He should have been focusing on the economy and affordability more than a war with Iran. And I'm gonna be honest with you, he wouldn't be in this position. Let's be real. He was honestly like a little bit underwater when it came to this last month before the war. And this is when I was saying that if the Republicans or Trump do not focus on affordability, they're going to cook themselves. And I mean, here they are focusing on a war instead of affordability, something that that can actually help Americans. And be honest with you, something that's tangible that we can feel in our hands and we can see in our face. I'm sorry, but I can't see the bombs being dropped in Iran.
The president on inflation. Joe Biden, an average of polls at this point in his presidency, 68%. And Jimmy Carter, whose presidency, just like Joe Biden's, was absolutely wrecked by inflation, was at 66%, about at this point in his presidency back in 1978. Donald Trump, even worse than they are. So you see it here. And the one word is, or phrase I might say is, oh my goodness gracious, what a disaster.
It just what's so interesting here is inflation was way higher.
Yes.
So they just, right now, voters don't like what the president is doing on it, even if it isn't as high as it was at these other times. What about gas prices?
What about gas prices, which of course is part of...
I'll be honest with you, it's only this high because he's in this conflict with Iran or this war with Iran, however you want to say it. It's only because of this. If he was outside of this and he was actually working on affordability, these numbers would be a lot better.
This inflation picture, only making this number climb ever higher. How about disapprove on gas prices? Okay, disapproval ratings on gas prices. Biden's worst number, his worst number in any poll I could find, was 72% disapprove of Joe Biden on gas prices. Donald Trump right now in our CNN poll, 76%. 76%.
And let me tell you why that is. Because, you know, I'm gonna be real with you, Biden, we kind of just knew what it was with him. We just seen gas prices get out of control. We seen inflation go up and up. And we seen that they was bullshitting us. Like, we seen that. We understood it. We hated them for it, but we get it now. And we didn't expect it to get better. But with Trump, there was an expectation for it to get better. And when you sit there and you dangle gas for like, what, $2.60 for like 3 months, and then you just rip it away from Americans, yeah, the middle class and below is going to feel that. Small businesses, even big business, is going to feel that. So I'm sorry, but you just can't play it off telling us short-term pain with long-term gains. As you see, the people is not hearing that.
In 4 Americans disapprove of the way that Donald Trump is handling gas prices. And again, the gas prices were higher during Biden, but the increase has been so dramatic. Oh, under the last month under Donald Trump, we're talking about an increase of about $1. It's the
guys, we got about 20 of y'all in the vertical chat. Go ahead and double tap that screen and like the video, guys. Appreciate the support. Let's go ahead and show some engagement by double tapping that screen and smashing the like button.
Highest increase that we've seen since at least 1991 in terms of raw dollars. No wonder this number is so high. He is beating or doing even worse than Joe Biden was on gas prices, which of course was such a major issue.
So talk about his disapproval on the economy. Put it in historical perspective.
Okay, so you see the gas prices here, disaster. You see the inflation here, disaster. How about the economy? You know, you mentioned it was the worst in terms of the approval rating for Donald Trump in any poll we've conducted. How about highest disapprovals on the economy about this point in term 2? Look at this. These are the worst. In our poll, 69% disapprove of Donald Trump on the economy. For George W. Bush, it was 57% in terms of the average. Barack Obama, 56%. Donald Trump is crushing him on a metric you don't want to be crushing anybody on, which is disapproval ratings on the economy. He's double digits worse. I was looking at some other polling data, also above the 57 and 56%. The worst of all time at this point in term number 2. It's the economy dragging Trump down, being, of course, accelerated by inflation being so bad. And, of course, the gas prices just adding up. It's like a pancake tower, and you're just reaching the top. And this is not a tower you want to climb.
One of the things you deal with when you deal with economic sentiment is how people feel things are going to be. So what are the prediction markets saying about where they see inflation going?
Yeah, where does the Kalshi prediction market say that we're going on inflation? Chance CPI year over year is above 4%. Oh, wow. In any month in 2026, 64%. That would be for the first time since 2023. So the inflation tower that we're going up, it seems like there are more steps on a stairway, certainly not to heaven, more like hell if you're the president of the United States.
Yeah, I mean, the White House certainly doesn't want the predictions to be right about this. That's clear.
Oh, God.
Right. Excellent. Panel is back.
Because we're at a nice little 2.4% inflation. Not perfect, but it's better than what we were under Biden. I'll tell you that. But that could all disappear if this war keeps on going.
David Chalian, who, of course, knows these numbers better than anyone else. David, the economy was an issue that...
And remember, it's not about gas being cheaper under Biden. It's about having the Americans experience those low prices and just rip it away from them in a matter of a month. And then say, oh, we're sorry, we're taking a detour. It's like, okay. Like, it's crazy how y'all thought the American people were just going to take that one on the chin. But, all right.
Pulled up Trump in the first term. Second term, totally different story.
Yeah, totally pulled him up in the first term because...
But all right, though, let's go ahead and bring our guys back on up here, man. Let's go ahead and shout out to my man, Original Backyard Gaming, Monty, and Sid. How's it going, guys?
Wait. Before anyone says anything,
I got cut off.
Hey, I opened the fucking lines tonight, bro. Before anyone says anything.
Congratulations.
Monty, shut up. Set.
Yeah.
Okay. Biden had it down to 2.4%. By the way, the reason inflation got so high was because a different country started a war in Europe.
Biden had it down
what
was the lowest? He had it down by like 3.4%, I believe.
No, I'm pretty sure by the end of his term it was 2. I'm pretty sure at the end of his term it was 2.4 or 2.5, maybe.
It was at
3.4. 3.4.
And
2024 was 3.4.
You can look it up while I make this other point. Biden also had us experiencing the lowest rate of inflation compared to every other OECD nation, every other comparable nation. Now we are experiencing the highest rate of inflation compared to every other OECD, Western, first world country nation. So that is the difference. And by the way, we fucking started this. So Biden didn't start the war in Ukraine. Biden
he just funded it.
Biden didn't start the COVID
we were
pandemic.
starving and losing jobs and weren't allowed to do anything.
I do got to
it was
read
okay
this
to
out
send
because
missiles
Sid
to
made the
Ukraine.
claim. So year-over-year inflation at the end of 2024, as Joe Biden terms near its conclusion, was reported at a range of 2.9 to 3%, with a core inflation was noted at around 3.9% near the end of
like
his
I
term.
said.
So it was the core inflation that was staying around that 3.5%, but like, actual
3.9, almost 4% set.
Yeah.
Wait. Before we go on, I do want to correct a point about this entire narrative. So I've been AFK because of school and a couple of other things. But I have been watching the stock market, and I've been actually doing an in-depth dive on how things are functioning and what bills are being passed by our government on this war, because there's a project that in Discord I want you guys to be privy to when I'm ready for it. Off of everything I've seen, I've been AFK for almost a month now because I've been looking at this stuff day after day. So I'm not pulling anything out of my butt.
All right, let's get into it.
Out of everything that I've seen, these gas prices are actually artificially inflated. the United States, we're even gonna take it back far as what was it, full calendar year 2024. So under Biden's last year, all the way up until the current moment, we are by and large a net exporter of petroleum. We produce so much oil that we sell it on the open market. So when economists get together and they look at this, okay, we're a net
which, for the
exporter,
record, is a good thing right now.
Yeah. We're a net exporter, why are gas prices going up? You got to look at Chevron, ExxonMobil, BP, all these other oil companies. And what they found is they're skimming a lot, not some, a lot off of the top. We're talking about upwards of 15 to 26% off the top. That's the cost that we're eating. The war is a front. We don't import any oil from Iran. I don't know why this keeps getting propagated through the
because
news.
it's part of the global supply, and if there's scarcity,
Yeah, you don't understand that it's a global supply.
No. Let me finish. Stop. Let me finish. So the United States supplies right now, even though it don't seem like a lot, about 15% of the world's global oil, especially after the Venezuela oil capture. We process it, we sell it. Before the Venezuela oil capture, we supplied the global market with around 13%. So with Venezuela 15, without 13. So a 2% gain with Venezuela.
At a 100% increase in price, just for the record.
Yeah. So, and this is according to NASDAQ, S&P, and a site called FMP.
So, but guess what, though? But here's the thing, though. Because of this war, even if you're right, because of this war, they're able to run this scheme, and nobody knows any better. So, still,
hold on. Because of this war. No, you talked. Gaming talk. It's my turn to talk. You guys both just shut me down, and I got cut off the last time.
Bro, there's more to it. I'm getting to that point. I'm condensing everything down. So
gotta speed it up, bro.
That's what I'm doing. This entire war, what a lot of this price is because we can't ship our gas to Saudi Arabia and Bahrain and Kuwait, our oil to those places for processing so they can take their cut off of it, because that's all they do is take their cut for processing. Basically, we have to ship it to UK. Some goes to Ukraine, some goes to China, some goes to Japan. So we're having to ship it to these other places that actually don't have the capacity.
This is just completely made up, bro. This is just completely made up.
It's not made up.
You are pulling us out of your ass. We are shipping oil to England and Ukraine and Bahrain and Saudi Arabia. No, we are not.
It's not the convenient truth you want to hear. Oopsie daisy.
No, you're totally wrong.
Stop talking. Stop talking. I'm trying to get through my statement.
Okay, well, try to tell the truth.
Stop. So, originally we were sending oil. If you would listen and quit being so quick to talk, we were originally sending that oil to the fields in Saudi Arabia. It's part of that freaking agreement we have with Qatar, UAE, Bahrain, and Kuwait. You would know that if you read it. Well, right now, the Gulf is a little occupied. So as a result, we're having to lower our oil output and send it to countries that don't have the maximum capacity that Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Kuwait, all these other countries, these Arab countries have. And then with the blowing up of that oil refinery on Saudi Arabia's eastern side next to the Gulf, which is where most of that was happening, all of it's having to be rerouted through the Red Sea to their western processing plant, which is a lot smaller. That's why the prices are so high.
All right, go ahead, Mike.
Anyway, all of this, especially with...
Sorry, go ahead. Just go. Sorry. I'm not laughing at you, Monty. Go ahead.
So all of this is I mean thinking about it right now, it's all a little pretty convenient that we just locked in a deal with Venezuela to buy their oil at $55 a barrel, what market price was then, and now it's 100 and something a barrel, and we're exporting that oil. um not to mention all of that money comes back into our economy. So realistically, realistically, we're making 25-30% of that increase just coming right back into our economy. So
We already
Higher.
were a net exporter under Biden. We actually set records of net exporting
what? So
under
you
This
Biden.
you're
last
you're
year.
literally just going to play team sports, and you're not actually listening to anything anybody's saying.
No. I am listening.
No.
Biden was
Well,
4 years ago.
that was actually part of the conversation when we first
Yeah.
jumped into this
But
call.
here's the caveat.
So
It was the last year. We weren't an exporter
We
under
were
Biden's first
It-
we
3
were
years.
literally breaking our
yes, we
strategic
were.
oil
Yes, we
reserves.
were. Yes, we were. You
Our
want to bet on
strategic
that,
oil
gaming?
reserves were
Gaming.
fucking
Do you want to
depleted.
bet on that? Do you want to bet?
Yes, I do want to bet because I
Why?
know it's the truth. Our strategic oil reserves were depleted
No.
after Trump
The
filled them
bet
up.
is that we were not a net exporter
We've always
under
been a
the
net
majority of
exporter.
Biden's term.
We have always been a net exporter. That's not
Okay,
nothing. That's
so
nothing Biden did.
So then you disagree with what gaming says. And what I was saying is
I
we
didn't say
broke
that.
records.
Can you shut up and listen, not listen to
Oh,
yap?
you didn't hear what he said, I guess. You didn't. Sometimes I'm not just talking to you, Monty. Sometimes I'm talking to the other people in the
Well, you
call.
also haven't let me talk since I've literally come back on. All I got to
I
say was
haven't let you. What do you mean? Go ahead.
you. So with all of that being said, our exporting has increased. So even if it was record numbers, we're now at record numbers. So that kind of falls out the window. We just secured a deal for I think 80 million barrels of oil a month with Venezuela at $55 a barrel, while
It's
it's sitting at
projected to
100.
go up also.
While it's sitting at 115, that's $60 a barrel profit that we were
Yeah,
just fucking skimming right off
that
the
would
top.
probably be awesome if we didn't close down 20% of the world's oil and LNG.
I mean, we didn't close it down. Iran did.
Oh, well, we did with our actions, but yeah.
No, that's not how that works. You're responsible for your own actions. We didn't close. We didn't say the Strait of Hormuz is closed.
Yeah,
Iran
well,
did.
every action will have a reaction. So,
No, so
yeah,
that's
they
not our actions. That's the reactions, i.e., the actions of
to
somebody
our
else.
actions, the reaction to our action.
No,
Yeah.
only a liberal thinks that everything is reactionary.
I mean,
I mean, it
People take
wasn't closed.
responsibility for their own
Monty,
actions on my side of the
Monty,
pond.
the Strait of Hormuz was not closed before we started Operation Epic Fury. So,
Okay, what's your point?
the point is, it was a reaction to that. That's what
So
closed it.
that means somebody pursued an action, right? Can I fucking speak, or are you just going to cut me off? Because all
I
I've
mean,
done now is
dude, I
respond
haven't been
to
cutting you off. We're
all
going back
I've
and
done
forth.
this entire time is respond to your interruptions.
yep, Sid,
I
come
don't-
on now. Chill, let him cook. Kai, try to
Am I
contain yourself.
actually interrupting that much?
Yeah,
Go
you
ahead.
are.
Yes.
You interrupted him like 3 times. Like,
Okay.
But with all that being said, this is a reactionary volatile market based off of a war that's going on. It is a fucking temporary thing that we are benefiting from, even though American citizens are paying higher gas prices. It is going to stimulate the economy just through the raw numbers in exports that we are doing, that we have captured at one price, selling at another price. That's fucking awesome. That's essentially, we bought a long position in oil as the United States government, and it's paid off in dividends. Is essentially what's happened here. But
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't assuage people that are paying $5 a gallon for gas. I mean, I told you fuckers to buy a fucking EV. You didn't want to listen to me. I can't control you. But that doesn't that is a we're sitting here complaining that gas is $4 a gallon, $5 a gallon, Maybe if the state of Washington didn't have $1.50 fucking cents per gallon gas tax on it, we'd be at $3.50 a gallon for gas. Maybe if president didn't decide that we're going to cancel the presidential contracts for the Keystone Pipeline, we wouldn't be sitting at a supply crunch. All of these problems.